Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope you're all doing fine. And the story with burglar Jimmy goes on. This part, we're gonna figure out what's gonna happen to him once he decided to start his shoe business and break up with his bad old business. So, let's do this. On the Monday night after Jimmy wrote his letter, Ben Price jogged unobtrusively, unobtrusively, unobtrusively into Elmore in a livery buggy. He lounged about town in his quiet way until he found out what he wanted to know. From the drugstore across the street from Spencer's shoe store, he got a good look at Ralph D. Spencer. Going to marry the banker's daughter, are you, Jimmy? Said Ben to himself softly. Well, I don't know. The next morning, Jimmy took breakfast at the Adamses. He was going to Little Rock that day to order his wedding suit and buy something nice for Annabelle. That would be the first time he had left town since he came to Elmore. It had been more than a year now since last professional jobs, and he thought he could safely venture out. After breakfast, quiet, a family part went downtown together. Mr. Adams, Annabelle, Jimmy, and Annabelle's married sister with her two little girls, aged 5 and 9. They came by the hotel where Jimmy stood boarded, and he ran up to his room and brought along his suitcase. Then they went on to the bank. There stood Jimmy's horse and buggy and Dolph Gibson, who was going to drive him over the railroad station. All went inside the high carved oak railings into the banking room, Jimmy included, for Mr. Adams' future son-in-law was welcome anywhere. The clerks were pleased to be greeted by the good-looking, agreeable young man who was going to marry Miss Amabel. Jimmy set her suitcase down. Annabel, whose heart was bubbling with happiness and a lively laugh, put on Jimmy's hat and picked up the suitcase. Wouldn't I make a nice drummer? Said Annabel. My, Ralph, how heavy is it? Feels like it was full of gold bricks. A lot of nickel-plated shoe horns in there, said Jimmy coolly. That I'm gonna to return. I thought I'd save express charges by taking them up. I'm getting awfully economical. The Elmore Bank had just put in a new safe and vault. Mr. Adams was very proud of it and insisted of an inspection by everyone. The vault was a small one, but it had a new patented door. It fastened with 3 solid steel bolts thrown simultaneously with a single handle, and had a time lock. Mr. Adams beamingly explained its working to Mr. Spencer, who showed a courteous but not too intelligent interest. The two children, May and Agatha, were delighted by this shining metal and funny clock and knobs. While they were thus engaged, Ben Price sauntered in and leaned on his elbow, looking casually inside between the railings. He told the teller that he didn't want anything. He was just waiting for a man he knew. Suddenly, there was a scream or two from the woman, and a commotion. unperceived by the elders, May, the 9-year-old girl, in a spirit of play, had shut Agatha in the world. She had then shut the bolts and turned the knob of the combination as she had seen Mr. Adams do. The old banker sprang to the handle and tugged at it for a moment. "The door can't be opened," he groaned. "The clock hasn't been wound, nor the combination set." Agatha's mother screamed again, hysterically. "Hush!" said Mr. Adams, raising his trembling hand. "All be quiet for a moment, Agatha," he called as loudly as he could. "Listen to me." During the following silence, they could just hear the faint sound of the child wildly shrieking in the dark vault in a panic of terror. "My precious darling," wailed the mother. "She will die or fright. Open the door, or break it open. Can't you men do something?" "There isn't a man nearer than Little Rock who can open that door." There isn't a man nearer than Little Rock who can open that door," said Mr. Adams in a shaky voice. "My God, Spencer, what shall we do? That child, she can't stand it long in there. There is enough air, and, besides, she'll go into convulsions from fright." Agatha's mother, frantic now, beat the door of the vault with her hands. Somebody wildly suggested dynamite. Annabel turned to Jimmy, her large eyes full of anguish, but not yet despairing. To a woman, nothing seems quite impossible to the powers of the man she worships. "Can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you?" He looked at her with a queer, soft smile on his lips and in his keen eyes. "Annabel," he said, "give me that rose you're wearing. Will you?" Hardly believing that she heard him aright, she unpinned the bud from the bosom of her dress and placed it in his hand. Jimmy stuffed it into his vest pocket, threw off his coat, and pulled up his shirt sleeves. With that act, Ralph D. Spencer passed away, and Jimmy Valentine took his place. "Get away from the door, all of you," he commanded shortly. He set his suitcase on the table and opened it out flat. From that time on, he seemed to be unconscious of the presence of anyone else. He laid out the shining, queer implements swiftly and orderly, whistling softly to himself as he always did when at work. In a deep silence and immovable, the other watched him as if under a spell. Wow, yeah, really. In a minute, when you look at any professional at work, it's the same feeling, right? In a minute, Jimmy's pet drill was biting smoothly into the steel door. In 10 minutes, breaking his own burglarious record, he threw back the bolts and opened the door. Agatha almost collapsed, but save what gathered into her mother's arms. Jimmy Valentine put on his coat and walked outside the railings towards the front door. As he went, he thought he heard a faraway voice that he once knew call Ralph, but he never hesitated. At the door, a big man stood somewhat in his way. "Hello, Ben," said Jimmy, still with his strange smile. "Got around at last, have you? Well, let's go. I don't know that it makes much difference now." And then Ben Price acted rather strangely. "Guess you're mistaken, Mr. Spencer," he said. "Don't believe I recognize you. Wow. Your bag is waiting for you, and it?" And Ben Price turned and strolled down the street. Yeah, that's the coolest story by O. Henry I've ever read. Yeah, that was not tough to reading, but yeah, just the good idea, right? Okay, thank you guys for joining today. Thank you for listening to me, and see you tomorrow with the next story. See you. Bye.